मैं तो आम आदमी हूँ, मैं मफलर पहनूंगा, वैगन आर की फ्रंट सीट में बैठूं। या घुसपैठिया लाएगा तो क्राइम नहीं करेंगे तो क्या करेंगे? इसी ने करवाया सारा।
Do you think Arvind Kejriwal is a bully?
He's not a bully. He's a con artist. I mean, he's a con artist in the sense he says something and does something totally different.
I'm sure the higher ups in the party, they don't align with a lot of things that leaders say.
I think the case you are referring to, the gentleman has apologized. हो गई किसी में गलती हो जाती है, कभी in the heat of the moment कुछ बोलने का, but माफी मांग लेते हैं बाद में खत्म. They have made a prediction that oil prices will be 74 this year. Today it's about 79. I think it could be even lower. That is something you'll have to ask Nirmala ji. They were pompous, by the way. They used to call the hostel residence. So in Hindu college, we had a Hindu college hostel. They used to call it residence. So, and it is good. I like it. Little bit of the English ways. I am what I am because of the college. And then he signed. If you want, I'll give you the name. He signed. I am what I am because of the college. So here's one pompous guy. I am what I am because of the college. The other guy put a little pinprick there and saying, why blame the college, and signed his name.
Hello and welcome everyone. From bureaucracy to politics, we have Union Minister for Petroleum and Gas, Hardeep Singh Puri ji, with us here today. We will talk about Delhi elections, fuel pricing, but also try to know the leader beyond politics. Hello, sir. Hello. Sir, let's start with Delhi election. How is BJP's preparation looking like?
No, BJP's preparation is helped by the fact that the person who has been leading the Delhi government for the bulk of the last 10 years has brought it to a point where everybody is fed up with him. So, the taps, instead of producing clean water, are dispensing sewer water. Electricity bills are 6 times what they should be. Faulty metering. Every 5 years he says ki, if I can't clean the Jamuna ji, I will not come to you for votes. Twice he's made that claim, and third time, without any shame, he has turned up to vote. So BJP is looking at a challenge in Delhi, which is circumscribed by very strong anti-incumbency, which is fueled by total lack of credibility, and that credibility itself is on account of the fact that they started out as an outfit against the Congress's corruption, and now has become the most corrupt outfit in India, and is in fact vying with the rest of the world, in the rest of the world, for being the most politically corrupt outfit. So BJP needs to get its development plank, because the Honorable Prime Minister has demonstrated beyond doubt that good politics comes from good governance. So when the Prime Minister assumed office in 2014, he talked about Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana. 4 crore homes have been given to Labharthis, to beneficiaries, not implemented by Mr. Kejriwal in Delhi. He talked about healthcare for everyone. A scheme called Ayushman Bharat makes it possible for a family to get 5 lakhs of rupees in a year for all forms of medical treatment. He does not implement that in Delhi. So we have said that whatever is available in his world-class mohalla clinics, apart from that, Delhi residents can get Ayushman Bharat up to 10 lakhs. Then he talks about, XYZ, air pollution. He talks about this thing. And whenever you ask him, why have you not been able to do it? Oh no, मैं तो करना चाहता हूँ जी, वो LG साहब नहीं करने दे रहे. And his personal corruption is shown by the fact that he said that he was a common man, आम आदमी. मैं तो वैगन आर की फ्रंट सीट में बैठूंगा, लाल बत्ती नहीं करूंगा, मैं सरकारी गाड़ी नहीं लूंगा. Apparently, in response to a RTI query, the answer given by the Delhi government is that rupees 1.54 crores have been spent on providing cars to him. He's not the only one. The rest of them are exactly the same. But more seriously, his entire political plank was part of the anti-corruption crusade of Anna Hazare ji. उनके साथ मंच पे बैठते थे. And if you go to Anna Hazare ji now, he will tell you, he said this guy is intoxicated by power and corruption, both. So the main point is, he made an assertion, and I come to that is the enveloping thing. In 2012, that had it not been for the CAG, the Congress would have sold the country. But there are 14 CAG reports on him going back to the period 2020-21. What has he done about that? He doesn't give them to this thing. So it's now become a matter for the courts. So the last court hearing was there, but the BJP MLA or MLAs who filed it actually wanted the reports to be made public. No, if you try to suppress something, they will find a way of coming out into the public. But there should be a public discussion on it. Just now people are saying that Sharab Ghotala kiya is 2,000 crores, lost to the exchequer. Again, it's not just the corruption, it's the morality, immorality, lack of morality. You want to give somebody a bottle of whiskey free if he buys one, I don't care. I mean, that's your choice and the buyer's choice. But to open liquor vends outside gurudwaras, outside schools, that is where, people, there is palpable anger amongst the people, and this time APDA is out.
So there's a narrative that AAP goes on with, and they say that there's a constant tussle with center government whenever they want to do something for the people.
Yeah, I agree. That's the point he put out. He says, don't talk about the central government and things that you don't have the delegated power. Okay. For instance, if he had the power to appoint, let's say, somebody like a lieutenant governor or something, that power is with the center. The services and law and order are with the center. But the rest you've got. What have you done in the rest? I mean, you said, LG doesn't let me work. But 1 minute. LG doesn't let you work. You got the approval for demolition of your previous chief minister's house and building a new one in 1 day. Okay. And what did you do? LG was not able to stop you. LG nahi karne dete. You gone and built a sheesh mahal at 343% of the original estimate. By the way, he doesn't have the power to execute a project like that. And none of the chief engineers who did the power. What he did was the chief engineer has a power of 9 or 10 crores or something, where he divided into 5 different things. And I mean, it's absurd what he has done. But more than all that, look at the, sheer indecency of this man. He calls the chief secretary, who is the senior most civil servant or the chief civil servant, to his residence in the middle of the night and beats him up. He has the office of one of his other main civil servants raided, and they take away the files. You have a lady colleague, she's now a member of the Rajya Sabha, your bouncer beats her up. So, and I'm sorry to say this, whilst you want to create, you meaning Chief Minister, wants to take credit for everything. I was urban housing and urban affairs minister for 7 years. He is an impediment to anything to do with development and progress. Everything he opposes. His model is कि सब कुछ free कर दो. All right, करो free by all means. Make it viable. So he wanted to give 1,000 rupees to our sisters in Punjab in that eligible category. It's 36 months. He's not given a pie. He said he will make Punjab Nasha Mukt. Now he has the, if you put on the television every morning, you will find a Nasha Mukt chehra from Punjab. Telling you as if the elections are taking place in Punjab. He's brought the Punjab police here in to provide escort and security during election time. I don't know how he does it.
So you made a personal tweet in the morning today talking about how he's being bullying around everybody. Do you think Arvind Kejriwal is a bully?
He's not a bully. He's a bully. I mean, he's a con artist. I mean, he's a con artist in the sense he says something and does something totally different. You can underline what I'm saying. I mean, a politician is allowed to weave some kind of, great story. I will do this, I will do that. All politicians do it to an extent. But after 10 years, you're judged. After 10 years, you're judged. If I tell you today, if I'm seeking election and tell you, madam, I will do this in 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. After 5 years, you have a legitimate right to ask a question. Where is that? What have you done? Why I say con artists? Because they say we made claims. Some of the things that they are claiming we said, we never made those claims. We said ki jahan juggi wahi makan, and we meant it. When I was housing and urban affairs minister in Kalkaji, we gave 3,200 flats to economically weaker sections of society. I started Mr. Biduri's campaign from there. I mean, I went for the nomination rally. They're all full. But what did you do? Because water supply is under your power, Delhi Jal Board is under you, Atishi is the head, you shouldn't give them water. Why? They don't want to give them water. Because the water which comes from the tap is full of this thing. So we said, give a proper what is it? No, because he's mixed up, or somebody in his outfit, I don't know who, is mixed up with the water tanker mafia. No, Atishi claims, this is what I call con artist. No, I need funding. I need 40 lakhs of rupees. You know, do you have any idea how much they're paying their volunteers in each constituency, in their constituency? I used a figure of 500 rupees a day. Somebody told me it's wrong. They're paying 2,500. I don't know. But you are paying even if you're paying 500 rupees a day to your volunteers, it means that you are spending 4 to 5 crores per constituency. And you don't have money because you have to raise on crowdfunding. I don't know to ask them what happened to the 100 crores you made, at least which is in the public domain, you made out of the liquor scam. And so many other scams. I mean, I will build 500 schools. Oh, not even 5 schools built. Then they don't talk about building schools. Now we say, I will build classroom. No classrooms built. And the classrooms which are built, what can be built for 5 lakhs, cost 25 lakhs or 20 lakhs. I will build a sports university in Mundka. Where is the sports university? He said in 2015, said it in 2020, now he said, "Nahi, mere ko 5 saal aur chahiye." So you are dealing with a classical shoot and scoot politician who comes to the people very straight, very humble. मैं तो आम आदमी हूँ, मैं मफलर पहनूंगा, वैगन आर की फ्रंट सीट पे बैठूंगा. And then when somebody needles them, shows them the mirror, ऐसे वो तो उनके रिश्तेदार तो रोहिंग्या है. अरे seriously, Rohingya is going to vote for me or for my party? He doesn't know the difference between a refugee and a illegal infiltrator. My generation, my previous generation came in as refugees when the partition took place. They built their lives. They lived in refugee camps. And this guy, he wants to be sabka saka. He abuses the Sikh community. Then he's Purvanchaliyon ka saka. What did he do? During the pandemic, he put all the Purvanchali brothers and sisters into buses and sent them to Anand Vihar bus station. Ki aap jao wapas. You're dealing with a very, very complicated man who can be all charm and, मैं तो करना चाहता हूँ, एलजी साहब नहीं करने दे रहे. को पूछो, बाकी तो चार्म छोड़ो, जो आपके पास डेलीगेटेड पावर्स हैं, सब कुछ इन्हीं के पास है. सिर्फ लॉ एंड ऑर्डर नहीं है और सर्विसेज नहीं है, नहीं तो ये किस किस्म की अपॉइंटमेंट करता है?
सर, लॉ एंड ऑर्डर पे एक क्वेश्चन था मेरा. क्राइम बहुत बढ़ गया है दिल्ली में. वी ऑल
किसके कारण? या घुसपैठिया लाएगा तो क्राइम नहीं करेंगे तो क्या करेंगे? इसी ने करवाया सारा. और ये क्या, इनका मॉडल क्या है मैं बताता हूं. इनको कोई कानून से तो कोई डर है नहीं. स्टेट हॉस्पिटैलिटी इनके मंत्रिमंडल काफी कर लिया. जैन साहब थे, खुद थे, सिसोदिया साहब भी साथ थे. सो ही इनकरेजेस दैट काइंड ऑफ एलिमेंट.
So, I'm sure the higher ups in the party, they don't align with a lot of things that leaders say, which are not.
You mean in the Aam Aadmi Party?
No, in the BJP, I'm talking.
Aligned
about.
with whom?
Aligned with the BJP leaders who say certain.
No, I'll
things
tell you
which
something. I'll be very clear with you. If any BJP leader makes a statement which is out of line, okay, there can be a misunderstanding, or if he's done something wrong, he has to apologize. And I think the case you are referring to, the gentleman has apologized. And garmi mein kuch shabd nikal gaye, jo bhi hai, but there is no place for that in the BJP value system. And I can tell you with total confidence, I mean, now this is my 8th year as a minister. I've had the privilege of knowing the senior leadership of the party. They have zero tolerance for this. But ho gayi, kisi mein galti ho jati hai, kabhi in the heat of the moment kuch bolne ka, but माफी मांग लेते, बाद में खत्म हुई बात.
And the people who are facing charges?
No, and look, if anybody is facing a charges, he'll have to go through the charges. Make no mistake. Look, there is something that people level as a criticism against us. It's misplaced. We are today the world's largest political party. We are also the largest party in India. There are people leaving the Akali Dal, the Congress, other parties to come and join us. We don't say no to them. Sometimes our vetting may have overlooked a particular fact, but doesn't mean that you come and join us and you get whitewashed. It doesn't work like that. But do we give tickets to people who have got criminal charges against them? मैं इनकी गिनवा देता हूँ करंट लिस्ट में, और पार्टी में हमारा कुछ नहीं होता. हाँ, हमारे का किसी का खिलाफ केस है, पर केस defamation का है, not in no. I'm saying defamation can also be a civil or criminal offense. But if in the heat of a moment I call you names, that's a different issue. Then for somebody who has a charge of killing somebody.
Or like sexual assault
Or
or things like
exactly, rape or sexual assault, whatever. Yeah.
Okay, then I want to genuinely ask you about your Delhi University days when you were studying, and how was
The
it?
best years of my life.
They were, yeah.
Yeah.
So, how was the culture back then? The theater, were you a part of any theater group? And
No, I was very active on the Delhi University student scene.
Hmm.
I mean, I contested an election
Yeah.
when I was in MA previous. In Hindu college, instead of a student union, you have what is called a college parliament. So I was elected college parliament, prime minister of the college parliament. I was very active on the debating scene. I was also active in other activities. So I had I would say, a full 5 years of active life. Then I did well academically, well in absolute terms. I got a teaching job in St. Stephen's College. I taught for a year. That's when I had, when I choose my words carefully. I was in the teaching faculty, and the students and the student body were people like Shopan Das Gupta, Chandan Mitra, Shashi Tharoor, Thak. What is Thak's name? Thakurta. Uh, Paranjoy Gua Thakurta. A very eminent group of people. We also became friends. Some of them were a bit more pompous than the others. And St. Stephen's College has this history of wanting to, put a little needle in that pomposity. They used to have what is called a guest lecture series in residence. They were pompous, by the way. They used to call the hostel residence. So in Hindu college, we had a Hindu college hostel. They used to call it residence. So, and it is good. I like it. A little bit of the English ways. So one person who later on became a foreign service officer, but I don't know what he was. He was already a politician. He went there and he wrote in the register, you go for a guest lecture, so you write your name, who you are. So he wrote there, I am what I am because of the college. And then he signed. If you want, I'll give you the name. He signed. I am what I am because of college. Another politician who was also a foreign service officer and also became a minister later, underneath wrote, why blame the college? And signed this thing. So he was one pompous guy, I am what I am because of the college. The other guy put a little pinprick there and saying, why blame the college, and signed his name. So it's a great place. Delhi University has a lot of intellectual. By the way, I had the privilege of editing a volume when Delhi University completed 100 years. I'll present you with that. If you can get me a copy of that book, Delhi University at 100. And when the publisher asked me to edit it, I said on one condition, that I will not go by the selection of people. You can suggest people. What I did was I literally culled out what I thought were the most prominent alumni of the college from my generation. I literally went by that. And of course, colleges, Delhi University is 100 years old, so I couldn't go beyond that. So I got whomever I approached, lo and behold, they all agreed. I wrote to Amitabh Bachchan ji, and he turned around and wrote me a long handwritten letter saying that, I was not a serious student. I used to only go and stand behind outside the back gate of Miranda House, and in a nice way. It was extended. So I wrote back to him. I spoke to him and wrote back to him, sir, would you mind if we use this as a forward? And he turned around and said, no, not at all. So it's a book which is Delhi University at 100. Since you asked about the university and thought came to me, it is edited by me and forward by Shri Amitabh Bachchan. And let me read out the forward. He says, when the Honorable Shri Hardeep Singh Puri wrote to me about his plans to publish an anthology to celebrate the centenary of Delhi University and invited me as a celebrated alumnus to write a few words, I wrote back and told him that I was the wrong person to be asked to do this. I did not believe that I fell into this category of eminent personalities he had given reference to, as my years at the university 58-61 were an academic embarrassment to me. If I were to write something, it would be rather frivolous. No, but I said, not that. I mean, he may have chosen not to concentrate on academic, but what a beautiful forward he's written. He writes about Frank Thakurdas, and who was a legend. He calls Mr. Thakurdas remains a part of me. This is Frank Thakurdas of the Dramatics Club. Paid me my first compliment when I performed in a stage production of Maxwell Anderson's Winter Set. He said he recommended me to the USIS Drama Company to play the part of Abraham Lincoln and chose me for the part of Zeus in Ben Levy's The Rape of the Belt, staged in Miranda House. Then he talks about Dr. Sarup Singh, a messianic educationist, who was the principal of Kiroli Mal, later vice chancellor. So, these are the real life experiences. And then I'll tell you, but I've written an editor's note also. Of course, not half as colorful as Amitabhji's, but I'll tell you, other people who have contributed are former Vice Chancellor Dinesh Singh, Sanjeev Sanyal, Shashi Tharoor, Dhananjay Chandrachud, who was then the Chief Justice of India, by the way, Lakshmi Puri, Imtiaz Ali, the famous filmmaker, Arnab Goswami, Ryan Karanjawala, Bibek Debroy, Minakshi Gopinath, Kiran Rijiju, Namita Gokhale, Vijay Shekhar Sharma. Now, this is what a university is made up. I mean, I always ask myself, what makes a university? Good students, teachers, and the atmosphere that they produce.
Now, moving forward to your bureaucracy days, how was that? And how is it different from being a minister? You have, of course, served many prime ministers, but then...
No, I served many prime ministers, but differently. It's one thing to be a joint secretary when Vajpayee ji was prime minister, and because of his graciousness and we had access as joint secretaries to the PMO, etc. But that's one thing. It's quite a different thing to when I was secretary and Dr. Manmohan Singh was prime minister. So you met him. I was ambassador. I hosted him. But when Modi ji, I'm part of his team. So to that extent, no two experiences are alike. And certainly, if you have a 39-year career as a civil servant, there'll be many prime ministers. I worked with Mr. Rajiv Gandhi also. And there are photographs of me turning the pages when he's signing the India-Sri Lanka agreement. But each experience is very different. And with Modi ji, it's a very different experience because he's somebody, I've had the privilege of knowing somebody that I deeply respect, and he's a very hands-on prime minister. In fact, of all the prime ministers of India, he's the only one who came after real hands-on experience for 12 years as a chief minister of a big state. I mean, the others may have been chief ministers like Mr. Narasimha Rao, but not that kind of experience. Yeah.
You read a lot of books.
I have one of the better libraries in town. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So can you recommend like 3 good best books that you have ever read? Very difficult, but
no, but they're different genres. They're different genres. If you
non-fiction, if you can mention.
No, non-fiction. No, non-fiction. I would say, depending on what your interests are. If you are looking at non-fiction in a global context, then I would recommend, books which go to the heart of the human mind and processes. I mean, one of my good friends is also one of my favorite authors. He's probably the world's leading intellectual, Nassim Nicholas Taleb. If you want to have an understanding of things, for instance, Black Swan, Anti-Fragile, these are top-class books. And I'm always wary of, I'm personally not into the fiction as a genre, but Lakshmi's book, Swallowing the Sun, is a very fine piece of fiction. And now she's become, she didn't have time earlier. Now, during the pandemic, she is really spending now devoted to reading and writing. But, depending on the area that you have, so much of non-fiction, world-class comes out. And some good stuff comes out of India also. Yeah. So, I mean, in India, if you go to the Jaipur Literary Festival, you're delighted what is coming out. It's and especially writing in the English language. India is a very productive and fertile, literary landscape.
For sure, yes. Essentially, I wanted to ask that whoever young people are watching the interview, what is the key difference? What changes when you are a bureaucrat and you're responsible as a politician?
No, if you are basically, whether you're a bureaucrat or an academic, and I've been all three, I've been all four. I started life as a private sector person. I joined Hindustan Lever when I had not even got my results in postgraduate. I didn't. I left that for a teaching job. Took the UPSC exam. So I've been private sector, academia 1 year, 39 years in the Foreign Service, then 6 years I did international think tanking. I was senior vice president of the International Peace Institute in New York and Secretary General of the Independent Commission with the UN system had appointed, along with Prime Minister Rudd. And then eighth year as a minister in the Modi government. Look, each phase has its own requirements. But somebody told me that you probably found the transitions seamless because even when you were a civil servant, you had political objectives in terms of getting the work done. I mean, if it's a bureaucrat, you push the file around and kick it around all the time, you won't get anything done. So if you are clear that bureaucracy and the politician and the academic, they all work for the country's good, I think then there's not much of a transition.
So now coming to the fuel prices, now what is BJP's, the central government and the ministry's plan to stabilize the petrol?
The prices are very stable. Today the situation is that the prices are totally stable. And we have the lowest fuel prices in the world because the Prime Minister on 2 occasions, actually 3 occasions, 2 major occasions, cut the central excise. In November 2021 and in May 2022, he cut the excise on petrol and diesel by 13 rupees and 16 rupees. And today we have a situation in which prices are lower than in our neighborhood, lower than in the outside world, and the prices have actually come down. But with the election of President Trump and his taking over as President of the United States, earlier I used to say also there is more and more crude oil available in the world. There's no shortage. But I think President Trump's action, the US produces 13 million barrels a day. They will start producing another 1.5 million. And I think he is also committed to ensuring that world prices will come down. So I was just giving an interview to somebody who is in this business about oil prices. And they have made a prediction that oil prices will be 74 this year. Today it's about 79. I think it could be even lower. But we'll have to navigate whether the prices come down or up. We'll have to make sure that there's no shortage of either availability or affordability or the sustainability, the green transition.
So the budget is coming, Abhi. So what can we expect now?
That is something you'll have to ask Nirmala ji.
Okay, what is the ministry expecting?
No, I can't. I'm not going to speculate on the budget out of discipline, that's all.
Okay. So the government's energy policy, is it aligning with the climate goals that we also
Yes,
have?
absolutely. Because we have to ensure sufficient availability, affordability. But the most important thing is our green energy stuff is going up. Biofuels, before Mr. Modi became Prime Minister, it was 1.5% of blending. Today, it's nearly 20%. We were supposed to complete 20% by 2030. Then we brought it 5 years forward till October 2025. We'll probably do it next month. So our biofuels are increasing, green hydrogen is increasing, EVs are increasing. So yeah, it's compatible. And we're the only country which has fulfilled the Paris goals, by the way, amongst the major economies.
Yeah. Talking about the protest that is happening, farmers' protest on MSP right now, what are your views? What is the
My views
planning?
is the farmers are all our own brothers. They've contributed a lot. Some of them are misled. I think the government has done very well in terms of opening lines to them and telling them that whatever their legitimate demands are, the government stands ready to meet them.
Yeah, Mr. Dhaliwal was.
He made a statement. I saw that statement.
He's taken medical aid, but he's still fasting.
So no, he's not taken any food.
He has taken the medical pipe.
But he's been a long fast. I wish him speedy recovery.
What are the broader goals in Modi 3.0?
No, 3.0 is that you're going to take this to a Viksit Bharat and you lay the foundation. And when he inherited the economy in 2014, that was a fragile 5. You know, like when you travel, you put a sticker on your suitcase, fragile, handle with care. From fragile 5, we have now gone to being the 5th largest economy. This year will be the 4th largest economy if you take the IMF figures, and another year or two, 3rd largest economy. From there to Viksit Bharat, that's it.
Hope so.
Yeah.
Just last question. Anybody who's watching this interview wants to join politics, what will be your advice to the person?
Come and join the BJP. Very good training ground, and it's a very good opportunity to get your lessons in development, Samaj Seva, etc. But my point is, don't join politics if you think it's a full-time profession. No. You join politics as something additional you can do. You can't join politics in order to earn a living. So if you're a lawyer, please do become a serious lawyer. If you're a teacher, you do political activity on top of that. Well, I know what I'm saying may upset a lot of people, but I genuinely believe people who come into politics, like Mr. Kejriwal, he came in for the wrong reasons. He was taking a sabbatical. I was sitting with with Jaswant Singh ji when he was an IRS officer. His application came up, and Jaswant Singh ji said, "देखिए ये पढ़ाई करने जाना था." मैंने ये पढ़ाई कहाँ करेगा? अभी तो he was an income tax officer. So that's the wrong way of. He's made politics and deceitful politics, right? He's made that into a profession. That's why I called him a con artist. वो कहता कुछ है, करता कुछ और है. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.